Wanna know the score? How does it work? How do we push some more? Well, I know a guy for that. He's got a guy for that. You can ask him almost anything on Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything.
Hey, that's my cue. It's me, the guy in the song they just sang about. You know, that guy. Hi, everybody, I'm Gaarawarr. This is Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything in Idle Champions, or a special edition. Gaarawarr's Guide to Uni the Unicorn, because that's the 100th champion that arrived in Idle Champions today. Hold on. No, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what I agreed to. What do you... Alright, I guess the 100th champion is some dude named Dungeon Master. But Uni's here anyway. I swear. I've got Uni like right here. As a familiar. But also as part of Dungeon Master's kit. But yeah, I guess we'll get to that. Dang it. I thought they were going to be so neat. Adding a unicorn as a champion? No. It's a Dungeon Master. It's a Dungeon Master. But hey, that's pretty cool too. I don't have it in my formation at the moment because I'm trying to smash all the things with a hammer. Probably not the greatest formation in the world, but hey, it's getting me close to 1,000. Let's see. How much favor did I have? 173 favor is what I started this run with. I'm like, was it really just 3 digits? Yeah, no, that's probably right. I'm in the E29 range now, but yeah, not bad for 137 favor. Not bad. Martin is here with me in the mod pod today. Martin is here with me. If you have questions, you can ask them in chat. Martin will grab them and put them in a little document over here for me. And for the next, 50 minutes or so, I'll answer them. And then I hear there's some new show going on called Heroes of the Plane. No, that's not it. Legends of the Multiverse. That's it. I think we're going to that show. I think we're all going to go raid that show. Let's see. Arian, doesn't Tyrell have a unicorn skin? He does. He's in it right now. He's just not in his actual wild shape form. Not in the actual wild shape form. I could switch that over. I don't know that it's... He probably should be in tank form since I'm somewhere where he's tanking now. Yeah, let's do it like that. Let's go over here with a potion of specialization. And voila. Voilà's Faerunian for unicorn. There's a unicorn. Alright. What is all this to do? Style TV. What is all this to do about the Ashara change? I mean, I don't know. Has anybody been talking about it at all? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? So yesterday there was a round 1, I'm told, of champion balance updates. Came out with a blog post too, and the blog post was like, hey, over the next few weeks, so apparently we're going to be seeing lots of changes to champions over the next few weeks. We will see. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 champions, 5 of which were buffs, 1 of which was not. It was kind of an adjustment with a slight nerf. They had moved. They renamed the Half-Blood Bond to Half and Half, and they moved halflings from short folk into Half and Half. Which, in all honesty, made it easier to use the half and half, because you got meta champions like Briv and Avron in there. Plus, you could throw in like Freely and Penelope, and suddenly there's a bunch of half and half. But anyway, but then adjusted Paragon of Kirsapal to require 4 champions instead of 3 for the bond. This was the part that was more like that made things a little more difficult to use. Whoa, hey, cut it out. That made things a little more difficult to use Ashara, right? Because for those of you who don't know, Ashara, to trigger her bonds in the former way, you just had to get 3 that matched. So getting 4 that matched requires at least 2 more champions that met those requirements. 1 for potpourri, 1 for whatever your second bond was, and for some people that was more than they had. Maybe they weren't using people like that. When the change happened, I was in a trials run and in a Ashara pushing formation. It didn't change anything for me because I was already at 4 and 4. But not everybody. I just had to switch from short folk to half and half. But people were very upset. I mean, to me, the biggest thing is just that we got all of this like the day before a big event update. That was a lot. It was a lot to take in. People have given their feedback. This is now changed. If we come up here, halflings now count for both half and half and short folk. Because I guess one of the complaints was that, wow, you took everybody out of short folk, which, yeah, I mean, frankly, they did. But they definitely made half and half was super straightforward to pick up. But yeah, they took everybody out of now they count for both. Now halflings count for both. They've also said now the 4 for Paragon of Kirsapal restriction still maintains. They have stated, I've got it right here. Let me read it straight from here so you have their words. Additionally, we've heard your concerns about nerfing champions that you have poured time and energy into. We never want players to feel bad about investing in a champion, especially as the meta shifts over time. We are working on implementing a system to let players essentially reset a champion, i.e. gain back blacksmith contracts, scales of Tiamat, potions of polish, etc. This is based on the consistent feedback we've heard from the community, and we'll share more information on this as soon as possible. So that's their words. So basically, because, hey, here's the thing, folks. I don't know. If you've been to one of my streams before, you know I'm all about saying, hey, the games shift over time. Don't go all in on one champion. But people do. People do anyway. And not everybody. The people that watch streams and that post on Reddit and that chat in the Discord, that's probably less than 5% of the population of the game. In games in general, that's usually less than 5% of the population of a game. But so we'll see what happens. We'll see if how long it takes them to add that, but that would be a good feature to have, like the ability to just say, okay, well, here, we just changed this champion. You now have a reset token or whatever that you can use on that champion. If you want. I don't know. Like, does it kick out, assuming it kicks out blacksmithing contracts and all those things, and then you can put those wherever you want. That's definitely one way to do it. We shall see more when we hear more, I guess. Yeah, so that was the whole to-do about Ashara. And honestly, it kind of ignored like all the other changes that happened. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, we don't care about any of this. But Delana got a small buff. So for people who use Delana, Surge of Power went from 10% to 50% per stack, which is, I mean, that's 5 times as much. So it gives her a little more oomph when she gets to the top of her power curve. Delana does one of these kinds of things, so it makes her wave a little taller. Mako's got some love to his Dark Luck specialization. Upping the gold amount, upping the damage, like self-boost. So basically, Dark Luck is now his DPS spec. Is now the DPS spec. Whereas Dark Blessing is the support spec. I mean, it always kind of was the support spec, but now Dark Luck is 100% Mako's DPS. Jamila went all in on her being a bruiser. If you don't know what that is, it's basically someone who would normally be a squishy but has a little more health and has been given some tank features, but doesn't give tank bonuses. So increased retaliation bonus per attacking enemy, increased base effect of frontline fighter, increased her overwhelm, increased indomitable might, added more DPS upgrades. I don't know how many they added. I haven't had time. It's been a busy, folks, the last 24 hours have been a very busy week. So I don't know how many DPS upgrades we got. Azaka got some more DPS, a 4x bonus to Curse of Lycanthropy, 2.5% for the each Taste of Blood stack. Adept Traveler got an 8x, like 100% to 800%. So, I mean, maybe she'll do some damage now. Before she didn't. Not really. Rhea, here's the thing, folks. Rhea is a solid champion. The challenge with Rhea was just that she wanted lawful good. She wanted to be in a group with lawful good people, which pushing it a bit in Dungeons and Dragons. There were formations out there, but that was where she really shone. But now, so this increases base effective searing radius from 100% to 100% to 200%. The Fiend bonus damage quadruples instead of doubles. But then Celestial Champion, instead of it being lawful good only, it now counts for lawful and or good. Rhea now fitting in a lot more formations. Rhea's biggest issue was never this, though. I mean, it did limit her use. But Rhea's biggest issue is just that she exists in a slot with Krull and Ashara. Right? So maybe we'll see some more champion usage. The key takeaway for me, though, is that this was what they said is the first of many updates. So we will have to wait and see who else gets updated and how. I think they've already messaged, potentially some other nerfs to champions. But if you haven't dusted off and tried other DPS champions in a while, and now's probably a good time. Joe DA, why didn't you name it Dungeon Master's Guide? Why didn't I name what Dungeon Master's Guide? This show? Because I'm not the Dungeon Master. Or if you mean my guide to the Dungeon Master, because I don't want to confuse people. By the way, folks, there's a guide to the event up right now. I posted it. So for those of you who are new to the game, first off, welcome. Second, I make guides. That's why they gave me this show. It's the whole Gaarawarr's guide thing. It's because guides. Oh, it's over there. Because guides. I have over 100 guides on the subreddit. If you're a new player, you might want to check that out. I wouldn't read them all at once. There's one called a new player reference. That's probably a good place to start. But I do have the guide to the event up, and it has links to the guides for the updated guides for the 3 champions in this event, which are Dungeon Master, Krydle, and Shaka, as well as the 2 that were originally in this event that are now time gate only, Catti-brie and Spurt. Ulfin, any early results on the other champ changes? They look meh on paper. I mean, here's the thing. People use those champions anyway, and now they're better. We should be happy they're trying to make things better. If they're really going to be doing updates like this on the regular, and they just kind of move a little up over here, move a little up over here, move a little up over here, and then come back and move somewhere over here. As long as they do that consistently, things are good. Things are looking good. One of the problems I think that people are worried about is that they've been inconsistent about it during the panorama, and for obvious reasons. Merrick, is this the biggest day in the history of Battle Champions? I mean, a Dungeon Master and an Ashara nerf all in 24 hours. I mean, look, it's 100 champions, finally. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And it's Dungeon Master, kind of a iconic character for people who have been around the Dungeons and Dragons scene since, the 80s. Those cartoons, a lot of people, that was their introduction to Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, I think it's a pretty big deal. The fact that we got some updates at the same time, I don't know. Definitely made it an interesting day. Somerville, what do you think about people investing half a year's worth of legendaries in Ashara in her team, and now she's no longer the meta? Is that fair? Yes. I mean, do you really want that? Do you really want my answer? Let me give it to you. Yes. Games are constantly in development and constantly in balance. I mean, I've been investing my legendaries the same way. I have a couple legendaries on all of the people that I use with Ashara. I spread them all out because I wanted to make sure if I don't get Ashara, because she's restricted out of something, that I still have power on other champions, and so I'm still good. But like I said yesterday, I hopped in I was in trials when the change came through. Didn't change my Ashara pushing formation. Could it change yours? Sure. Sure. But this is not a game on a disc that doesn't get updates. This is a constantly living, updating game. Yeah. Olfin, how do the Steam bonuses manifest? Is a code that you get, or so if you play the game on Steam, there's a Whittle's Champion of Renown pack that went out today, or is in the process of going out for some people. It already arrived from me. That's why I already have a bunch of chests over here. Yeah. I don't know if that's a rolling thing. Like, I think they just trigger it live, and I don't know if it's Steam slowly rolling it out or something. It should have just gone to everybody. I did completely restart my Steam earlier, and maybe that'll trigger it. Maybe that'll trigger it. Yeah. So, sometimes you have to do something to trigger a giveaway pack like that. I just looked at my Steam account. It says you have played for 337 hours. So is that double elite? Is that double elite hours? 21,337 hours so far, folks. And I'm not even on the high end. I think I'm in the middle. But yeah, I would say restart your Steam if you're not, at least your Steam, but maybe, release your client, but maybe Steam completely. That's where I was going. Oh yeah, and Smuggle Beer. Hey, good time zone. New players just got dumped a lot of new champions on Steam. Do you have a 3-minute recap on the new champs? Or Kira, Whittle, Kreidel, Caddy Bree. Is that? Wait, no. Oh. Because you're including from the event. Wow. Do I have a 3-minute recap for all of that? Hold on, let me get this up. Okay, so the Steam pack. Again, this is just on Steam. Or Kira, Whittle, Caddy Bree, Ayla, Avron. Yeah. So Shaka and Kreidel are in the event along with Dungeon Master. For that, I will be this Saturday. I will be doing Gaarawarr's Guide to the Running Year 5. and I will go over all of those. But let me try to do short versions. Here, this would probably be easier if I drop back here and get rid of all this busyness. Get rid of all this busyness. Let's put Uni out here to save the day. All right, so Orkira, Whittle, add a Whittle. Caddy Bree was already in. Ayla and Avrin. Yeah, that works. So there's those. I can't put Krydle in. I can't put Shaka in without swapping some of these, so we'll come back to them. Real fast version. Orkira heals non-adjacent champions, and she applies a debuff to enemies that she hits with her basic attack. It's a cone. Her ultimate rains down fire from above. Oh, I didn't level her up all the way, which I will trigger here in a moment. And her debuff can be stacked via her healing, so there's some manipulation with Artemis that can go on. Here's her ultimate. Boom, it rains down. She's still kind of the queen of debuffs, even after her nerf earlier this year. She's still going strong. Caddy Bree is a member of the... she's a member of the Heroes of the Plains. Caddy Bree is a member of the Companions of the Hall. If you ever read the Legend of Drizzt books, you should know Caddy Bree. This is her vampire skin. Let's put her in. Maybe something else. Oh, hey, special guest star Caddy Bree. She's drawn like the cartoons. I love it. I forgot that. We got that today, folks. Check the code channel, the combinations channel in the Discord, because this is fantastic. She is a DPS or a support. I use her more as support, but she is a niche use case DPS. She always attacks the furthest thing away, and you're like, well, why would you want that? Well, there are variants where you are swarmed with tons of things that have like armored health in this game, and rather than trying to chew through all of that to get to the enemies that are actually going to give you credit for completing, you can just tank them while Caddy Bree kills the actual enemies in the back. It's real nice. But yeah, niche use case DPS, more support. She real strong, so she likes to go with Kron. Kron likes strong people. Yeah, I like it. She has her death march is her debuff is a mark. She has to hit something and then she marks it, and then you do more damage to it. Whittle, despite holding this blunderbuss, is a wizard. That blunderbuss is her magical focus. She fires her magic out of it. She like buffs adjacent people in a variety of ways. There's damage, there's attack speed, bonuses. She can actually match. So if like you put somebody with a really low attack speed next to her, she will basically spread that low attack speed to everybody around her, which is great when you're running debuff setups, because as long as you have a fast attacker in there, you can spread debuffs real fast. She's also a speed champion. She makes enemies move faster. Like, you see how fast they're running out. I've got a speed potion on, but one of the other reasons is because she's making them run from the side of the screen to this point where they're all dying real fast. Avrin's the #1 support buffer in the game. His mirror images that you can see floating around here, because you can get 4 of them at once, and he has an item for it. His numbers multiply real well, and he gets real strong. You basically match his alignment up with whatever your DPS is, and try to get his mirrors around him, and that's it. He does all the things. Ayla's still my pick for top tank in the game. She's super survivable. She fires up this self shield every so often, and it's huge, folks. I mean, this is an order of magnitude larger than her health, but it can get even bigger. Depending on what's going on. It actually caps out. It's based on the number of enemies on the screen. It can get up to 1,000% of her health, which is large. And she's got debuffs. She doesn't even have to be a tank, folks. You don't have to. If you just want to throw Ayla in the back because you already got like Briv up front, go for it. She'll still debuff and do her thing. Yeah. That's this group. That's this group. Now if we're talking Shaka. Shaka comes to us from the Rivals of Waterdeep. This is their dark, I call it their dark Shaka skin. Shadowfell Shaka. There's an Ascendant Shaka. They're not too far. Light and dark. This is the regular Shaka. That outfit though. How do they keep it so clean? They clearly know prestidigitation. Shaka likes to be with the Rivals of Waterdeep. We only have a few of them so far though. Shaka basically puts these little, see that now there's these little blue tags down here in slots. Like this one says DPS, this one says female non-binary. You got to move it around. That one says halfling. That one says male non-binary. Basically, if you match up things in the slots, well, we don't have it. Yeah, DPS would go there. If you match the things that they want, well, we need a halfling back there. Shaka, basically, they have a buff, and it gets stronger and stronger the more that you match. And if you put them adjacent to the slots, things get even better. And when you complete an area, when you move to a new area, they put out a little temp HP shield to everybody. It's just for a little dash of love to keep everybody alive. And then we got Krydle. Krydle, this is their Blood War skin, but here's their normal skin. Now I'm going back to Blood War because it's cooler. Blood War skins were inspired by Max Dunbar art. They're real cool. All right. Krydle's a member of the Heroes of Baldur's Gate. The comic version. Krydle works as a DPS or a support. Krydle likes to be in the back two columns. He also buffs anybody in the back two columns, including himself. He buffs the Heroes of Baldur's Gate more than anybody else. And then he's got this real finicky thing about charisma. It's annoying, but, you know, you can make it work. I've not even bothered with this part with the charismatic leader and just thrown him in and put him in the DPS spec and had him DPS, and he's done great. You know, he's not super amazing, but he works. He's a good DPS option if you're new. But because he likes to be in the back rows, some of the buffers in the game don't like especially the core buffers don't necessarily like that. Your original starting tank doesn't like that, and that can make him a little harder to use for a new player. That was everybody. What am I going to do now? I need to put a formation back in and push back to my wall. Glitchcom, what are some solid DPS choices instead of Ashara? Artemis also requires that you build an entire formation around them. Here's the thing. Ashara still works. Ashara still works just fine. None of her numbers got changed. You just need to get one more champion that matches for each bond. So they went the route of Artemis and Krond. Artemis and Krond, who are the two top DPS in the game in terms of scaling, require that you build full formations around them. Well, now Ashara does too. To get all that damage, you got to do that with Ashara. Ashara is still going to be great if you just proc like 4 Potpourri, but don't bother with the second bond. She's still a solid multi-hit DPS champ. She's not going to unleash the storm of devastation that she used to unless you do 4 in the second bond too. But again, if you have a large stable of champions, that shouldn't be too difficult. It's just, you know, there are going to be patron restrictions, potentially regular variants, but definitely patron variants that are going to make it so you can't use the Ashara anymore. In that case, Artemis or Krond were scaled better than she did anyway, but maybe you didn't want to invest in those. Zorbu exists. Single target though. I mean, well, so are Artemis and Krond, and unless you choose specs for Krond. You've got a bunch of mid-tier DPS like Farida, Who else? Now I'm like, who have I used recently? I've used Cridle recently in patron variants. I've used Farida. Jaheira scales well in its specific circumstances, but I wouldn't say is amazing, but can work. Who else did I use? I mean, I have my preferences, and I usually go with Farida. Hitch, still, he's a support champion, but he can still show up in DPS. Beetle and Grim, when you tag team in the DPS person, actually DPS is pretty well. They apply their own debuff, and then they utilize it. Yorvin's okay. I mean, there's options. Are they going to be super strong? If you want super strong, you got to invest. You got to invest time into getting champions. You got to build the right formation, right? And at that point, if you're only 2 champions away from finishing your Ashara formation, finish your Ashara formation. Let me actually. How was I doing this before? Oh no. Oh no, was I using I think I was using Bruenor. I think I was using Dinar. I think I had Omen in, like, back here. Man, I would love Desmond. I think I had Briv in. I definitely had Caddy Bree in. Who was over here? Ayla was definitely in. Tyrell was in. And Averin was in, but who's the other one? Did I have Sentry in? I might have Sentry in, and she needed to come out for somebody else. But who? Dang it, familiar. I did not. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they meet that requirement. Speaking of Beetle and Grim. Wow, that could go either way, huh? Probably need to do the other one. I'm still doing this one. I don't know. I'm probably choosing bad specs for Beetle and Grim, but oh well. Let's get this rocking and rolling again. And then I will get back to more questions. Alright. Have you purchased the Dungeon Master skin? I did. That's how I got the Uni the Unicorn. I absolutely went right out and bought the Dungeon Master skin. It looked too good. We should probably bring him in. We'll do that. What I wanted to point out, though, is a little bit of fun for events. So obviously, if you're brand new, or even if you're not, you might not be pushing as far as I am on my first run. One of the ways you can maximize your push is when you get as far as you go and things are building up and you're not necessarily moving forward super quickly. You can come over here and you could start opening silver chests. So why silver chests? Silver chests drop gold. It's not a lot. Honestly, it's not a lot. You really got to do it on your first run. Maybe your second run. For you to see a big difference. But the more you open, the more gold you get. Obviously. It might be able to let you upgrade your champions a few more times and push 5, maybe 10 more levels. Who knows? You might hit a power curve and be able to go quite a bit, right? So this is usually what I do is I open up a lot of these. I'm not going to open all 3,000 of these on screen because opening multiple chests like this still takes too long. I do appreciate we can open 50 now. That was not always a thing. But the other thing I do is, if you notice up here, events run on tokens. Hey, there's Dungeon Master. Events run on tokens, and the tokens for this event are the leaves. Leaves. They accrue at a very slow pace, 1 every 25 seconds, as you're killing things. There's no way to speed that up. But what you can do, is come over here to your inventory, and if you have them, if you have bounty contracts, you can open them. And what they do is they drop. Look at all those leaves that dropped. Now I gained leaves all of a sudden, and that's because bounty contracts are based on time. You claim a bounty worth 30 minutes of time. It's going to give you offline gold. It's also going to give you event tokens. So in an event, if you have these, this is the big deal. So if you notice, I was at around 2,500. This is what I do every event. I open... this is probably a little more than I used to open. I bought more chests last time. Or I opened more chests last time. So basically, I'm going to burn through all of these. Now I've got 1.68 EO5. What's an EO5? That means I'm at like 168,000. I went from 2,500 to 168,000, and I'm not done. The largest number of them are still right here. The largest number of them are still right here. So again, this also gives you gold. I like to open the silvers first, and try to push a little further. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. I tested all this stuff a long time ago. Probably year one, when I was initially making event guides to try to figure out which was the best way. And then what I found out for me in my testing was opening silvers worked before bounty contracts was better. And opening it on your first run is ideal. Second run was okay. If you're somebody who can hit this upgrade soft cap where all these circles with the line through it are going on, none of this matters. None of this matters. But the idea was it was supposed to help you get super far early on. So this is kind of more of a new player thing in terms of opening these up at your wall. However, opening bounty contracts to get lots of tokens is an always player thing. This is something you will always do, because later on, when you're not always going to have this many, but when you do, it lets you get lots and lots of gear for the new champions, and potentially get them into full epic right after you get them, which is fantastic. Instead of having to chase that for a year or more, trying to get everything full. All right, we're getting there, folks. We're already into the 269,000 range. Nice. And we're still going. So yeah, this will be the most event tokens I've ever had on day one. I find that this is enough. This is more than enough to get me enough chests for Dungeon Master, for whatever the new champion is, to get enough chests to fully gear them out and not have to worry about anything. And I'll have between 100 and probably 130-ish item levels average. There we go. So ended up in the 316,000 token range. And now I'm done. I don't have to be here anymore. One thing I did was I rocked Freely in for a while. He grabbed some Adventurous Tale. I'm going to go drop the bonus in for that so we can just get a little more favor. Just a little more favor. And now there's a bonus here of another E30. Look, that's a nice fatty bonus. So I went from 137 favor to E30 favor on my first run. Or second run, I should say. And I got a silver chest for it. So now when I go back into these, I can just set them on loop. It will farm the free play over and over and over again, and it'll burn all of my leaves. And I don't have to do a dang thing. A dang thing. It'll just, with my Modron core, it'll do it all for me. But I want to do the variants first, so... You know what? No, we're doing It's Tiamat the Dragon. Because I want to see Tiamat. I was too busy earlier. I didn't get to watch it on Marge's stream. Hey, there's Dungeon Master, and this is his skin. This is his skin. Let us bring Uni in. There. Let's see. Where did he go this time? Or Fear Not Champions? I think I want him in the formation more often. And I want more words of encouragement, just because. Just because. So there we go. Hey, there's Tiamat. Get out of my face, Tiamat. That's great. I love that it looks that some of us folks have already fought Tiamat in this game. I love that this version of Tiamat is 100% the cartoon Tiamat. That's just fantastic. Let's get all the usual suspects. Yeah. Here we go. Normally that fire breath weapon would do like 90% of my max HP and damage, but because in this variant that's what it would happen, but because DM is in and he's giving us a temp HP shield when we're changing levels, the shield takes the damage and we don't. See? Nobody got hurt. Now if our friend, a dungeon master, decides to not show up on a level, which that better not happen, dungeon master, I'm telling you right now, then we'll be in trouble. Yeah, 836 shield. I have no gear on him, so he has no shield. There's no shield. Tiamat, what's the matter? You got a frog in your throat? You're just like. We needed sound effects there. Definitely needed sound effects there. I think that was a bit of a bug. It happens. I want the cartoon Cadbury skin in. It just looks too good. And we'll bring Tyrell in. As a oh no, that was the wrong one. Oops, as a unicorn. Tyrell is a unicorn to go with Uni. Hey, there's Uni. There's Uni the unicorn. So Dungeon Master wasn't there for a moment. Yeah, no, they're not there here either. So now we're going to take damage. Yeah, everybody's almost dead. Thanks. That was painful. That was painful. Shaka's got a temp HP shield too. You could use that. Calliope's got a temp HP shield. Calliope's a core champion, which means if you're new to the game, you have Calliope. She's right here in slot 5. Her ultimate would apply a shield to everybody. But unfortunately with this roller coaster layout, she can't hit everybody with her regular proc shield. But yeah, if you've got Shaka, if you've unlocked Shaka already, throw Shaka in alongside DM. You've got potentially double shields. We can actually do that here. And even when Uni's the only one in, we shouldn't take any damage. I'm not going to worry about Shaka's puzzle though. Is that the right spot? Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're matching everything but dwarf there, I think. All right, back to questions. I know we got a lot. I will get through them quickly. We only have about 15 minutes left. Have I purchased a DM skin? Yes, I have. Would you advise a new player to do the event ASAP or just do the main stuff? Oh, no, do the event. Events are time limited. They're only here for 12 days. 12 days. And then they're gone. And events are the way you get new champions. So you can grab 3 new champions. You want to grab them. This game is all about kind of collecting champions. They are your tools in your tool belt for the challenges ahead of you that are the game's variants. You need a variety of them to do well. So yeah, to focus on the event first. You'll have plenty of time to do the main campaign. The Zork, did they prioritize the Whittle Steam bundle over the new shop experience? No. I still have the new in-game shop, but I received a Steam giveaway. No, it's because they're still beta testing the new shop. So, but the Whittle giveaway was a thing that was going to happen regardless. Stitches. I think I nailed it. I just got out of Champions on the Epic Game Store. Nice. And Steam. Okay. It's okay to do because I have like different paths to take. I mean, you could play it on either place, but they are going to be different accounts. If you want to play the game twice, I mean, some of us have multiple accounts. I don't recommend starting off with multiple accounts. So if you're brand new, I would say probably start with Steam, since they have the giveaway with extra champions. It's going to let you progress faster, in all honesty. I do have an Epic account. I do have a Steam account. I've also got like a CND client account. I've got multiple, but that's for testing stuff and making guides. You old Dice Goblin, I only play the Steam account, this one that you're seeing right now, full time. When DM guest stars a character, is there some kind of icon or text showing you who is unlocked? Yes. It actually shows in the specialization box, but also it puts 4 gold stars on the character portrait of the character that they allow in. It seemed pretty obvious to me. You'll note I didn't have that specialization option because there were no restrictions about champions here. So it's a kind of a smart unlock. It's not going to show if it doesn't need to show. Jody, can you show us the event bounty contracts routine? I did. Wow, that was pertinent. Sailnit, can you explain the purple armor on the event level 50 boss? Yeah, hold on. I think that's for a specific variant. But let me go back. Ah, this is Drow Armor. Well, this is a form of Drow Armor. So this is Belial Tavabent. And for her, this original Drow Armor, if you'll watch, as I kill the enemies that she spawns, the purple part goes down. So what you have to do is just kill through her spawns. After you kill through a certain number, her health is going to show up. So this is a form of Drow Armor. And the HP is actually the number of enemies that you have to kill. If I did not, yeah. So that's all you have to do, is you just have to kill the enemies that spawn. She's actually fairly straightforward in that regard. There are versions of Drow Armor, and there is one variant in this event, I believe, that adds 8 Drow Armor to things, and it's the worst because it's basically just it's a harder, more difficult form of armor to get through. In the sense that there's only 8 instead of like 25 sections or 50 sections. It's rough. But yeah, so you just have to kill all the regular enemies. You're not actually attacking her. If I didn't put that in my event guide, today was a day, I will try to potentially make a note about that. Tomorrow. Not that tomorrow's any less busy, but Sailnit, that was Sailnit. It's Neon Treon. What is a good target for favor to make all the variants easy in events? EO8. EO8 is a good minimum target to shoot for. That's orders of magnitude. What you can see that is if you see like here 3.68, if that was EO8, that means I move the decimal place 8 points to the right. 8 points to the right, so that would add 6 zeros onto the end of that, and it'd make it a real big number. EO8 is what? Like 1 EO8 is 10 million? 100 million. 100 million. I don't know. This is a large numbers game, which means the sooner you learn, the sooner you switch over to scientific notation, the easier it is to talk to everybody. EO8. EO8. Cryo Sentinel will freely be getting the update to show how many champions with spec effects. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I just make guides, and then they let me stream on this channel to answer questions. But dev questions need to go to Dev Insights. What I will say is you will quickly learn, based off the formations you're using, who you want it to be. It's not necessarily... Putting the number of champions that qualify is one shortcut way to do it, but you also have to take into account if you have a multi-hit champion, each of their hits is going to apply a stack. If you have an AoE champion, your AoE champion is going to hit everybody that's grouped up and apply a stack to all of them. So you want to favor, in a sense, those types of champions, right? And that's not something that them putting that count on the specialization is going to help you with. So you need to keep that in mind when you're building your formation. You need to look at who does what in your formation, who's going to apply the most stacks, spread them around the most, not necessarily how many champions match. And that may be why they didn't do it. That's also like they added it to Avron, and it hurts me. It pains me that they added it to Avron because you don't care. You don't care how many have it on Avron. Avron just wants to match the DPS. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I think that might confuse people. Water Hornet. Oops, in Dungeon Master Challenge, does under 20 mean under 20 years old? Yes. Yes. Hey, we completed Tiamat the Dragon. I kind of want to just let it keep going because I like the Tiamat. Normally you would complete that right away, but I love seeing Tiamat jump out on the screen. It looks so good. One Slayer. I just got full epic on DM. Nice. Should I spend my leaves on getting Cridal full epic or try to get item levels on DM? I mean, if you've got leaves and you're already full epic, I mean, I would try to get full epic on Cridal too. I mean, I would try to, if you've got extra tokens, try to get full epic on everybody. There are bonuses in the game based off the number of epics you have spread across. There's one bonus based on the number of epics you have spread across all champions. So you might as well shoot for that. We have 2 new champions this event. No. I said my topic was Uni the Unicorn and some Dungeon Master guy, if that's what you're referring to, because Dungeon Master and Uni are one, and they're kind of a swap feature. Dungeon Master's usually in, but occasionally he leaves and Uni shows up. Does Dungeon Master qualify for all patron chests? I don't think so. Oh, no, he's lawful good, so yes. I was like, Mert, but no, he's lawful good, so yes. Yeah. Because his stats, I think Mars figured out earlier that his stats are basically, I mean, they're hidden here because it's basically like it doesn't matter. Dungeon Master does whatever he wants. I believe his stats are like 18 across the board, numerically speaking. So he should qualify for everything, and he's lawful good, so he qualifies for Mert. That would put him in the all patron chest range. Yo, Dice Goblin, does Temp have stack in this game? No. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. The higher one. It's the higher one applies. Yeah, it should be the higher one that applies. I think it works the same here. So whoever's higher between you or Shaka is going to apply. But the point of having them both in is that when DM pieces out and you get Uni, you don't get the temp HP, so Shaka would cover you. What skin is that on Human? This is the dwarf. This is the dwarf Hammermon. There's also a Treantmon and a Vampiremon, but I have the Hammermon skin. This was specifically from a Kickstarter for something. Dwarven Forge. I haven't gotten my item yet, but I got the skin already. It will probably go in the wild offers if it isn't there yet. Where'd you get the Catty Bree skin? I got it from a code. in the Discord. I believe the code is Special Guest Star. because this is the Special Guest Star Catty Bree skin. She has so many skins, folks. Did you notice Uni doesn't get scared with the scarf and the new DM skin? Oh, is it like it's its thunder jacket? Is that it? Is this its thunder vest? Is the scarf? That's fantastic. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Just use the code for Catty Bree skin chest and no skins are unlocked for her. The skins are pretty names, but none are named. You might want to restart. When I got my purchase for Dungeon Master, it did not show up, and I had to restart the game. But yeah, folks. So Dungeon Master is in the game. Dungeon Master basically qualifies for everything. And when you're in a variant with restrictions on who you can bring in, Dungeon Master can bring somebody in that doesn't qualify. They're pretty cool. This is the Archmagi skin, and this is the regular skin. They get temp HP, shields for everybody. There's some gold find when they're not around. They're kind of going to change variants, I think, for people. They're going to change variants a bit for people. They're kind of broken in the good way. They're broken in the good way. Martin, I know we're raiding. Are they live yet? I want to make sure we go over to them and... no, I don't think they're live yet. All right. I don't want to dump us into an empty channel that isn't even live yet. Joe, is 80s Tiamat or Trials Tiamat stronger? Trials. Well, no, because it's not even Trials Tiamat that's strong. It's the Avernus Tiamat. Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus has the strong Tiamat. Trials Tiamat doesn't fight back. Right? 80s Tiamat just comes out and breathes on you, and if you have a temp HP shield, you're fine. But the Avernus Tiamat wrecks your day. Wrecks your day. If you are not ready for her. Yeah. It's super cool, too. I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't got there yet, but when you get to the end of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, you fight Tiamat. Spoiler alert. But I'm not spoiling how cool the fight is. What do we see? We're going to be rating Heroes of the Plains. I mean, Legends of the Multiverse. The new D&D show with let's see, everyone in it. Everyone in it. It's going to be starting right after this stream. But never fear, tomorrow there will be more CNE game streams, because that's the way it works around here. In the morning, Mars' Guiding Hand, followed by Formation Save, and then into the Lauren and Sean Q&A show, Idle Insights, and then rounding out the day with Dev Insights. I know you got them burning questions for the developers, folks. I know you do. That's Dev Insights, 2 p.m. Pacifically tomorrow. Friday, if you're new, there's streams all days but Sunday. Friday there's streams all day, including another one with me for like 2 hours where you can ask me questions. And then Saturday morning I will be doing the tutorial show, or as I like to call it, Saturday morning Gartoons, because it starts at 7 a.m. Pacific. And that will be Gaarawarr's Guide to the Running Year 5. We will talk about events in general and how to do them. We'll talk about the running specifically, and each of these champions and their variants and their layouts and how to use them and whatever else you want to talk about. All that's going to happen Saturday. I'm just like, are they there yet? So first legendary is on Ashara. My first wasn't. I mean, everybody's first is a little bit different. No. Here's the thing: if you're just starting trials, and you just got some scales, and you want to forge your first legendary in the forge up here, I recommend finding a support champion that's in all of your formations. Like all of your formations, or as many formations as possible, and give them the boost. That's the way I spread my, as you can see, I've got like two, I have a couple legendaries all across my main champions, my main support champions. And then I started spreading legendaries out between my primary, secondary, and third, whatever that's, tertiary? DPS? I don't know anymore. My brain's not working. It's been a long week. Day that's lasted a week. I'm trying to go through backup DPS for when things get restricted. But yeah, a good one now, I think Dungeon Master, probably a good target for at least one, right? Dungeon Master can go everywhere. Will they ever add Champions of Krynn to the game? I mean, never say never, but this is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Do we have like visiting guest stars from other places? There's the Heroes of Herois that are from the Herois homebrew, but they've been adjusted to be 5e D&D Forgotten Realms champions. We have a Gith, but they're one that's left and is now in Faerun, right? So like if we have one here from Eberron, there's a couple from Eberron, but they're now canonically in Faerun. So if that happens, then that happens, right? All right, D&D just started. They're gonna be raiding. They're gonna be raiding. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will see you in chat tomorrow, I am sure. And then I will see you Friday afternoon for Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything. Bye, everybody.
Got the answers that you